Sunday, we are gonna go biking today. We're gonna bike to Pacific City. Oh, it's a really nice day today. Good morning, it is Monday. Again, I don't usually work on Monday, but I'm going to work. And so right now is 6:12. I am all ready to go, but I'm waiting for my mom to come. Preston's still sleeping, and then Byron is about to leave for work as well. So I'm just having my coffee. So this is 8 greens and this is coffee, and then I'm just gonna treat it like it's a work day. So since it's my day off, I'm just going to do hygiene checks. So there's usually 2 columns, at least at my practice, on the schedule. One is for each provider. One is for the hygienist, who basically sees her own patients, 1 an hour. And then there's my column, and that's where I do like veneers and fillings or crowns or whatever people need. And what I have to do is, once people get their cleaning, I have to check on their teeth with checkup. Okay, we are here. So it's 6:50. Our first patient is scheduled at 7 a.m. and this is just me walking into the office. That's the hygienist. And the first thing I do is go through Invisalign and just check off a few cases and make sure I'm up to date with that. Okay, so I started doing my bookkeeping at 8 o'clock. It's now 9 o'clock, and I went through every single credit card transaction and bank, like the checking account, to see what things come in and what things come out. And it's like, there are people who do this, like real bookkeepers and stuff, but I feel like this is such a valuable exercise for me to do every month, because like, there are things every month that you just lose track of. There's so many expenses going in and things that are being paid out. And like, for example, like how many checks do you write? I basically, whenever I go through this, I go through every single check, because on your statement, it just shows up check number, blah, 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 and then the amount. And so you don't remember who you wrote that check to or what it was. So you have to go back and like look it up and then categorize it. And then there are other things like that. Sometimes if you just do a quick glance at your statements, you don't actually know what they are. Like, they sound familiar. Like, for example, for the longest time, I didn't know what EDD was. So there's EDD, there's IRS USA tax payroll taxes, and then there's something called NAT pay, which is like because I do direct deposit for the employees. So there are all these like little terms and stuff, and you just don't know exactly what they are. But you know that you see them every month, so you just get like accustomed to knowing that it's normal, except you just don't know what it is. So now I kind of like categorize everything that I have in there. Oh, another thing about like incoming money is that when you're a practice owner, there are so many things that are coming in. So you have to keep track of the credit card transactions, like the things coming in for credit cards. And then if you have another service that like does electronic billing, like for example, if you're a patient, you just send them like a text or email saying you have a bill, and then they just pay it on their phone. It's for their convenience, but that is a separate service, so you have to make sure that that all gets accounted for as well. And then there's Care Credit, which is like interest-free financing that patients use, so you just have to make sure that you get that as well. So there are like all these different moving parts, and this just helps you to really sit down and hunker down and consolidate. So now that I've categorized everything, which I know a lot of people would think this is a complete waste of time, but I do not. When you're a business owner, there's so many like softwares that you have. Like, I have to pay for open dental, I have to pay for this and that and this and that and this and that, and it just like adds up. And then you want to know how much you can spend on advertising. Well, you don't know that unless you know how much you spend a month and how much you net. Like, for instance, if I want to spend more money on marketing, you don't know if you have the money, because the money that you make is not the money that you make. The money that you make is the net of what you spent versus what's incoming. So yes, that I've actually increased my spending on advertising this year, which is part of why I'm hunkering down on the finances, because I need to see whether all this money I'm putting into advertising is actually helping, compared to like how we did last year, how are we doing this year. So I'm really tracking everything. The other thing that you just like forget about are refunds and things that you shouldn't have been charged for. So when I first started doing this, I was shocked at how many things I had on auto pay that were still going, like little softwares that you have, like kind of like how when you sign up for apps subscriptions on Apple your phone, and you leave them on by accident. So things like that. Also, there are things where, for example, this month I got refunded. So this month I got refunded $2,312, which is a lot of money. And that's just because I found like little things on my credit card where I used to overlook them because it looks like it's just a recurring charge, but like $4.99 I was charged for a few months. $4.99. I like looked into what it was, and it was just an extra charge for service. I had a guy come and install a TV, and for some reason they kept charging me on a monthly basis for their services, and I never signed up for that. So I got a refund for that. And then I also got a refund this year. As dentists, we are supposed to do all electronic prescriptions. And so that is something that I have to pay for every month, is a new software. But when I was looking at different softwares, I signed up for this one called iCore RX, which is recommended by the CDA. But once I signed up for it, I didn't want it anymore. So I had canceled it. I had sent an email to cancel it months ago, but I'd still been being charged for it for at least a couple of months. So I finally got the refund for that. So I just try to make sure that I get all the refunds that I'm supposed to be getting. And then that just like clears your mind that you got all your monies. I'm in the state of mind now, and it's really bad, but I look at $104. I'm like, oh, that's nothing, because you're looking at big numbers all the time. But this helps you like really deconstruct and see all the smaller numbers and see how all the small numbers really add up to big numbers. Yeah, and if like your employee wants a raise or something, like I really had to go back and crunch the numbers and see if we can afford that. And thankfully I was able to give raises to like everybody in the last year. So you can't just like give raises, you know, you can't, it has to make sense financially. So now what I do is, now that I've kind of categorized everything, I put it in another spreadsheet. So the other spreadsheet is more like something that helps me to compare month by month. So for example, I have an answering service. That's how much I paid in January, how much I paid in February, and how much I expect. So I'll put it into here and then just compare all the different things. And yeah, there's like things that, like I bought figs, so I have like work clothes and stuff like that in there. And then I like seeing like how much I spent on dental supplies month to month, and just seeing my average cost. There are certain things that are fixed costs, and I just want to make sure that I was charged the right amount for those fixed costs. Anyways, I'm going to do that part now. Okay, now I am inputting all of my checks, calculating them so that when I go to the bank, I know exactly how much the deposit should be for. And believe it or not, there was a period of my life I didn't do this. So, I mean, this is just common sense, right? But I mean, the amount of checks you get when you're a dentist, it's a lot. And sitting down and punching these in, it's kind of annoying. A lot of my friends were telling me you should just get one of those credit card things. You can get a credit card thing where you can just do it from your office, but I don't know, I'm just like an old lady. I like doing it like this and going to the bank. So okay, it is 11:15. I'm still here. I just spent some time going through the comments in my last Instagram reel. See, these things take time actually. And then now I just went to do a hygiene check, and I'm going to do some virtual consults now because I have quite a few to catch up on. So yes, I'm gonna do that and then I'll be back. I did a batch of virtual consults and now I'm going live on TikTok. So about 30 minutes logging in on TikTok and answering questions, oral hygiene questions, what to do if your tooth falls out, stuff like that. And then now I'm opening packages that are sent to the office. I have quite a few of these. Make sure that if you ever send me a package, you let me know where it's coming from. This package had Hello products and slippers and stuff. I have no idea who this came from, so whoever sent this, thank you. Okay, I'm done. I'm about to drive home. First I'm gonna go to the bank and then I'm gonna go drive home. Thank you guys for coming along with me today. I know it's like kind of dry stuff, but it's the unglamorous part of being a business owner. So thanks, bye.